I don't think there's enough water in the world that can probably get me through the rest of this because that was an unbelievable 3 hours of wrestling and entertainment and TV I probably haven't watched in a long, long time. So this isn't gonna be like a normal review that I would post because I'm not gonna break down every single thing. I'm just gonna talk about specifically what were my favorite things, what were my thoughts on those things, those favorite things in between, and just break down in some kind of way the importance of what each one was. So I might as well start with the main event, Lashley versus Theory for the United States Championship. Fine match for what it was worth. They were given the rest of the time, and they did what they needed to do. It wasn't like a normal no disqualification match. It's kind of like a normal regular match in between, like with some things of no disqualification. But the obvious biggest story out of it is Brock fucking Lesnar returning and F-fying Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory. Where is this going to lead to? A rematch. I'm not going to say it's going to be the Royal Rumble because Lashley is already in the Rumble. So I'm thinking Lesnar is going to get in the Rumble match and it's going to set up a rematch, not for WrestleMania because I think they got some other plans, but probably Elimination Chamber is one thing that I will definitely keep in mind. Elimination Chamber is a big pay-per-view event coming up in February, so that's going to be huge in Montreal. They're getting everything just set up in the mix to that. I also would think that if they are running that San Juan, Puerto Rico show, if they're running that Puerto Rico Stadium show, that's one thing to keep in mind as well. So it's kind of like a 2-on-2 hand-in-hand kind of thing that they're going to do. It's a big thing. And they're already tied 1-1. Lesnar has the win over Lashley at Crown Jewel, and then Lashley has the win over Lesnar at last year's Rumble. So obviously this match will not be a regular match. It's going to be a no disqualification match of some capacity. It could be any kind of match for real. I don't know. It's all like, up in the air at this point. It's all up in the air. And I honestly think that whatever match they go with, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be physical. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be like that Lashley Goldberg match from Crown Jewel back in 2021 when they ran that match for the first time, or the second time I should say, and they ran it in a no disqualification kind of way with the Hurt Business. I think they're going to probably go that same route. I don't know. It's again 50-50. I'm not really sure. But that's my take on that. But I want to talk for a little bit about the trial of Sami Zayn. Perfect. Round of applause. Round of a freaking applause. That was the perfect. If you're talking about all-time great opening segments to a wrestling show in the history of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, Nitro, whatever, that belongs at number one. It went 30 minutes. It went longer than what it was supposed to, which apparently cut the time. It cut the match of Bayley versus Becky inside the steel cage, which I didn't care about. That was the most perfect segment I've ever watched in my lifetime. Ever. It started with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman just crucifying Sami. And Sami is just standing there, just taking it all and just broken down, just heartbroken in the worst possible way, because he's been that guy for the bloodline for months. We're going all the way back to April of last year. It's almost coming on a year that this story has been going on. This has been going on since April or May. And then it's continued on and on and on and on and on and on and on. There's been some downs for sure, but there's been a lot of ups. And this has probably been the biggest up that we've ever seen in the story. Paul Heyman bringing out Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C, and Exhibit D. Each time, Sami is stealing the spotlight over and over and over, bumping Roman Reigns, standing on top of the War Games cage. But then Sami cuts his promo, a fantastic promo, seeing he was hurt. He's hurt by the fact that Paul... He's hurt by the fact that Paul would do this to him. Because after all the hugs, after all the conversations, after all the pleading and talking that they've done, this is how he's going to treat him? He's hurt by that. Which leads to Roman, which leads to Sami saying he has no defense. Why does he need a defense when he's been betrayed like this? Which leads to Roman getting solo to almost Samoan spike him, to which Jay, of all the people, Jay Uso, coming to the save of Sami Zayn. Now, I thought at some point that the way that Jay was looking, Jay was going to be the one that would do something. But instead of him doing the thing that I thought he would do, he actually did the opposite. He came to Sami's defense and presented Roman and the bloodline with video proof that Sami's had the back of the bloodline ever since day one. From setting up the music distraction in the tag team match for the tag titles, to the War Games, to multiple times that he's helped them win, to saving Roman from a beatdown from Drew McIntyre, taking chair shots, claymores. That Jay pronounced his love as a brother to Sami, which brought tears into his eyes, which had me going. I literally was just sitting here, just shocked. I sat here, shocked, astonished, overcome with such joy that this was happening, because it was fantastic. It was perfect. It was everything that a story should be, and then some. Everything that a segment should be, and then some. Everything that a moment could be, and then some. Which leads to Roman saying that Sami is not guilty. And that itself was unbelievable. Saying, well, he's not guilty for now. He doesn't want to see him. Roman doesn't want to see Sami until Saturday, until the Royal Rumble, for his biggest test. And we don't know what that is yet. It might do something with Kevin Owens, but overall, it is going to be an insane kind of thing. That was perhaps my favorite segment of that entire... That's probably my favorite segment of all time. The trial of Sami Zayn. Unbelievable 10 out of 10. And it only continued into the Raw Tag Team title match with the Usos versus the Judgment Day. Overall, a fantastic match. The first hour of Raw, perhaps the best hour of Raw all time. The best hour of the 3-hour Monday Night Raw in history. It was a great tag team match, competitive back and forth, until a moment where we saw Jimmy hold at his knee. He was trying to get Damian Priest back in the ring, but he held at his knee. The referees held up the X, which is something that only occurs when you see something real take place, and we didn't know at the time period I don't know if it's fake. I don't know if it's a story. I don't know if it's an angle. I don't know if it's real. But Jimmy has had his fair share of knee injuries, especially during the pandemic era. He dealt with some knee injuries, and he was out for a significant time period because of that. So I don't know. I don't know what to say, but it led to Sammy coming in and taking the spot of Jimmy Uso. And it was just hot fire. Sammy was just on fire through the entire night. Philly was behind them 100%. It was beautiful. Sammy getting the pinfall win, getting the one and done. Oh man, it was, my entire mind was just like blown of how perfect it was all executed from the very start of Raw, from the trial of Sammy to the tag team title match. It was the perfect embracing, and it was a perfect embracing of a moment that we all had been waiting for. Jay and Sammy finally coming together as one. Perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. I literally had no complaints about it. I have no words. I have no words to say but just bravo. Bravo to the Bloodline, bravo to Roman, Jay, Jimmy, Sammy, Paul, Solo. Bravo to all of y'all. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. There's another thing that I want to talk about. It was the DX and Kurt Angle segment, which was absolutely hilarious. It started with DX coming out to the ring. Kurt Angle, of all the people, coming out to the ring with DX. Hilarious. By the way, I was like, wait a minute, is that Kurt Angle coming out with DX right now? That's kind of weird, because he wasn't a member of DX the last time I remembered. But it led to once we got to the introductions, that's when we got to the Kurt Angle thing. And I bursted out laughing to the point where they were about to say badass Billy Gunn, to turn to Kurt Angle, and just the look on his face is just, the look on Shawn, Triple H, X-Pac, and Road Dogg's face. It just made me crack up. It was fantastic. To then Angle pulling out a DX shirt, which was unbelievable. When they were getting to the actual introduction, Kurt's like, I always wanted to be a member of DX. Like, it was so great. It was so great. It continued and continued up until Imperium showed up, which surprised the hell out of me. I didn't expect Imperium to be at Raw, and it was a real life thing to see where Imperium is sharing a ring with DX, and Walt Gunther and Ulta is staring at two of the greatest of all time in Triple H and Shawn Michaels. To which Triple H, when Gunther says that they're disgracing the sacred mat of the ring, and said whoever wants to step up, they can try. Triple H steps up first, says, I'm retired. To which Shawn Michaels steps up next and said, I'm too old for this. And then Shawn said, XXX himself also said, I ain't going that either. And then Road Dogg said, I ain't fighting him. Kurt said, nah, I ain't doing it either. So it was like, it is just a back and forth of just great comedy awesomeness. It was purely just fantastic stuff all around, which led to Seth coming out, and then the Street Profits, to then Teddy Long making an appearance, is calling it a 6-man tag team match with a special guest referee, to which Kurt Angle takes off his DX shirt to pull out a red, white, and blue referee shirt, because what the hell? Like, something that's just, oh god. And the tag team match itself was entertaining. It was enjoyable. It was awesome. It was fantastic. I didn't have a problem with Seth and Street Profits getting the win. For sure, it was a great match. I didn't. It was just unbelievable. I literally popped hard for anything and everything that was going on with Kurt Angle, that was going on with uh, all the things with DX and with Seth and the Street Profits. Montez is still an ungodly kind of athlete, which I will never understand how he flies the way he flies. It was a great segment. It's probably I wanted to talk about those two in particular because those were the those three things I wanted to talk about was the big things that were going on within the show. There was some other good stuff too. The poker, they were doing a poker thing backstage. I thought it wasn't too bad. There were also the cage match. I was fine with that being canceled. Where there was the because I didn't think that you can just give that whole segment just 50 extra minutes if you wanted to. You could go on and on and on. That segment was just perfect. Shame that Becky and Bayley got their match cut, but they are going to get their match eventually. Probably next week after the Rumble. So just stay tuned for that. The whole thing with Bianca, Charlotte, and Sonya was the one thing I really didn't care about because Sonya's just a character that I'm just not interested in overall. Just like what is her purpose is just my thing. I don't really understand why she's around. She's just a nothing. She's just a space that's just there. In all honesty, she's just a space that's just there. But other than that, this is probably the best Monday Night Raw episode we've had in a long time. I'm talking about the best Monday Night Raw episode from 3 hours straight with basically hardly any kind of really, really bad, like really any negatives. And it's just a whole ton of just massive positives. Let me know what y'all guys thought of Raw 30 in the comment section down below. Don't get those letters into your heads like that, you sick pervs. So Raw 30 was awesome. I'm probably not going to do an NXT review. I probably will do a SmackDown review when I get home. I haven't watched Rampage in a while. Maybe I might do a Dynamite review. I will see. But with the new season of NWA Power coming soon, I think there's a new NWA show coming onto YouTube. And I might do a live stream. I might not do a live stream. I'm not going to do a live stream with that. I'm going to do reviews on that. I'm going to go back to doing reviews on NWA. There is my Wrestle Kingdom reaction that I need to do. So, I do got to finish that. But Royal Rumble predictions, they're going to be done on the Saturday afternoon before the Rumble. And I will also do a Royal Rumble live stream. So tune in for that. I probably will be drinking, probably won't. It's all up to how I feel. But I will make sure to get something for myself. Some food, some beer. We're going to have a good time. We're all going to have a good time. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning into this video. Thank you to the people who tuned into the live stream. My brother, Marcus. I love you, brother. Thank you for tuning in as well. Jay Kills, thank you for coming in as well. I really do appreciate you coming in. Anybody that came in during the live stream, appreciate the views. You didn't have to come in, but it was actually pretty cool. And I will see you all very, very soon. Peace and love to the greatest people in the world. Stay safe.